back to On the Fly podcast. I'm your host, Flyehi Blake. I'm here with an exclusive guest today, you guys. Someone that I admire. Someone that I know a lot of other people admire too. He's a pillar in the fashion world and in the town, out of town, worldwide. Period. Mark, future exclusive.
Thank you.
It's good, my guy.
Cooling.
How you feeling?
Happy to be here. Happy you guys reached out to me so we could talk about, fashion and future exclusives, which was the store that I had. But just happy to be here.
Okay. For the people who's unfamiliar with you, let them know where you from, what side of town you from.
All right. So I grew up primarily on the west side, but we moved from the west to the east here and there. But my roots are from the west side of Rochester. I went to Wilson High School, and I had a store on Genesee Street, about right down the street from Wilson High School. I went to college for 4 years up in Buffalo State, and I had the Future Exclusives, which was my...
Okay, we're going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
How was your upbringing?
My upbringing, it was up in Rochester. I was more or less a smart kid that had a great imagination to insulate me from a lot of my surroundings, the things that will probably, break a person. So I grew up in Rochester. My family, they're from Mississippi, and we wasn't rich, and we definitely wasn't the poorest.
Okay, what high school you went to?
Wilson High School.
Did you play any sports for Wilson?
Football, yes.
Oh, well, what position you played?
Middle linebacker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Class of 96.
Class of 96.
Yes.
How was the fashion world back then?
Up in high school? So in high school, in my situation and what was going around, it was kind of like
Okay,
this.
was you into fashion?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so.
Yes. So once I got into high school, I started to come into my own about buying my own clothes because my mother, I had a job. So once you have your own job, you have control to go and purchase your own items, even though you might not have, tons of money because you're working at a low wage, but you had enough money to go and get things that you thought was fly.
Mm-hmm. So who was some of the people that inspired you to get fresh?
Well, you'll see things on videos like in the hip hop culture. You will see what they wearing in the music videos, and then you'll also see people in the neighborhood with Jordans. Jordans was big back then, and then we also had a store out there that was called All Day Sunday, and you could go straight downtown and go to Midtown and get a lot of your fashions.
So you was a known shopper at All Day Sunday? You was...
Yes. That was my go-to place.
Okay. What was the first pair of sneakers that you felt like you had to have?
Some flights. Nike flights.
The one with the flight on the tongue?
Yep, with the flight on the tongue.
Oh, yeah.
But when I was younger, I always wanted the Superstars.
The Converse?
Yes.
Did you ever get them?
No, never got them,
So you got the flights, though?
Yes, because I was able to purchase them on my own.
Okay, walk us through that. Where did you purchase them from?
I had to purchase them downtown. I can't remember the store, but it was a store downtown where they sold a lot of sneakers and hats and clothing. They was up in downtown. I can't remember exactly.
What, NYC?
I don't know if it was NYC, but it was a place where they used to sell a lot of Helly Hansen.
Benzers?
Not Benzers.
Cavaliers?
It could have been Cavaliers, but they was a big
outside.
store. No, it was inside.
Inside?
It was inside.
What, C3?
Nah, it wasn't C3.
I don't remember nothing other than NYC, Benzers.
It
All
could
Day
have been
Sunday.
NYC. Could have been NYC.
Yeah, it had to be NYC, Hallie
Could have
Hansen.
been NYC. When I think about it, because they had all like the New York stuff. They always had
Yeah.
the first ones that was rapping the sneakers and stuff.
Right, yeah. So you say, what rap artists inspired you to get fresh, though?
Mostly the New York rappers. You know, you will see like who was out around that time? Like Nas. You'll
Yeah,
see
Nas, yeah.
Nas was always Flye.
Always.
Then if you wanted some utility stuff, you'll see like Boot Camp Click, you know, Buckshot them. They always had some stuff that you could wear on a daily basis. Who else? Those was really, and then Wu-Tang. Yeah, Wu-Tang was huge.
Okay.
You know, Wu-Tang had a whole spectrum of different types of fashion.
Yeah, they was everywhere with it. I
Right.
feel like Raekwon and Ghostface was like the ones I would
Right,
look up to
Right.
as far as fashion.
right.
That brings me to this question. What was the soundtrack to your life? Like, what was you listening to on your way to school or before a football game?
Well, before football games, we used to listen to, like I said, Bucktown.
Bucktown. Buckshot Shorty and
Yeah, Buckshot Shorty. Yeah, with Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to listen to Bucktown. Also mixing, you could mix in. I liked it. I liked a lot of things, you know. So we'll mix in like some down south stuff. I liked the Outkast when they first came out.
Yeah,
I also liked it Mobb Deep. Who else? And then I liked a lot of the underground mixtapes and stuff like that. You know. So.
So you say downtown you was a frequent shopper downtown?
Yes, and they had Gene West.
Yeah, Gene West. I think everybody went to
Yeah,
Gene
so
West.
you had Gene West also, the 2 for 40. I mean, you can't beat that.
You couldn't beat that with a
You
bat.
couldn't beat that with 2 bats.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
went there a few times to get my 2 for 40s
Yeah.
for first day of school.
Right. And I jumped out the window one time. I went and got these pants, you know, because I just wanted to have something different. It was kind of like, it was like purplish or something.
Yeah, they used to have different colored
These are the
jeans too,
colors.
like
Yeah.
with the tops to match though.
Right.
Was you shopping at Jim Dalbert's?
Jim Dalbert's, not really, because Jim Dalbert's, I didn't really shop there. It was in the neighborhood, but I never really shop there.
So where you went to for your sneakers?
There or either sometimes Goldstein.
Goldsteins. Give me a story on Goldstein. I know you got one. Everybody that sat right here has with Goldstein.
Well, the only thing with Goldstein is like you went in there and you got a sneaker at a discount, and you just kind of wondered how you end up getting that discount because the discount
right?
sometimes
Yeah.
was
Yo,
really,
you the first one to say that.
yeah
Word.
It was
Like you really.
it was like amazing discount.
Word.
You know, it was.
I heard
like
all
a
type
real-
of stories about them. Like they was hitting the train, like getting their sneakers.
Right. So the discount was so amazing. Like you like either is it fake or how they getting these goods because.
Word. You the first one that say that.
Yeah, because
And
it would be something
the
in there
truth.
for like $120. They give it to you for $80.
Word.
That's a huge discount.
No tax and
No
nothing.
tax,
Straight
no nothing.
80.
Just 80. Get out of here. And there was another store that I didn't really get to go into as much, but Archie's.
Archie's. I went in there a few times.
Yeah, Archie's. And they used to have like the Levi's, but the Levi's
Yeah.
was a little bit priced out of my budget at the time. Yeah.
What was your favorite mall to shop at?
All day Sunday. Right downtown.
I'm talking about, so downtown over Marketplace, Round the Coy, all that.
Marketplace was decent. Like if you wanted to go and get more sneakers and stuff like that. But if you look at a mall is mostly surrounded for like women purchases.
Why you say that?
Just look at any mall.
Like far as like the stores.
The
that's in
stores.
there?
So if you look at a mall, 70% of the stuff that they have in there is targeted for like women or parents. Just think about it. If you go to a mall right now, you're gonna go probably to, and I'm not gonna say where you're gonna go, but the average guy is probably gonna go to a department store. It's not too many specific stores unless you like, you know, really into like a Banana Republic or something. Mm-hmm. But other than that, all of them are catered to like women. So when I was growing up, I wanted to get the exclusive stuff, and it was downtown. Plus the stuff downtown was more limited, like All Day Sunday, and like you said, NYC and stuff like that.
Um, was you into like the black owned brands like Maurice Malone,
Yes, definitely. Carl Kanai.
Carl Kanai?
Carl Kanai, I love Carl Kanai. I thought his stuff had excellent quality.
Yeah, he did.
Excellent quality.
Excellent.
And I'm glad you brought up Carl Kanai, because that's probably who had the most influence on me with like fashion,
Yeah.
because he was like the first trendsetter with his own brand with his name on it. He came out with the baby before Biggie. Remember he had the baby? That was like his logo.
What?
Yeah, he had like this baby with an afro before Biggie them. And that was like his logo.
You just learned me something out.
Yeah, take a look at it.
I have to see.
Take a look at it. Carl Kanai, he had premium clothing. His clothing was like top notch. Yep. It was almost like a Sean John before Sean John.
Yeah.
If you think about how clean cut he would have been, if he had enough support for the longevity, he would have been the Polo that we would have looked for.
So what you think was his downfall?
Well, I mean, you got to think about when you're catering to just a African American community, it's going to be limited, and then people are always looking for something new. Then
you think even back then they was too though?
Yes.
Like how it ain't how it is right now though.
No, now I think we're in a strange age right now.
Yeah, right now is they want new tomorrow.
Yeah. They want something new tomorrow. Well, I don't even know if they want anything new, because everything looked like, I don't know. Right now, I don't even.
I'm talking about like far as everything, music, fashion.
Oh yeah, it's a microwave world.
Yeah, they wanted tomorrow.
definitely-
Like you could drop something new today. Tomorrow they're gonna be asking you when the new stuff.
Yeah, it's a microwave world, which goes against a lot of the principles that I like. I like quality over quantity.
Right.
So
yeah, me too.
Most of the things now is about quantity, not the quality. So, but Carl Kanai, just to get back into that, Carl Kanai was one of the people that I would always go to get some of his clothing. But Echo was huge.
That was black owned. Mark Echo.
It wasn't black owned, but I mean, if it's Flye, it's Flye.
Yeah, Mark Echo had his run.
He
definitely
that
had
stuff
his
was
run.
huge. And what I mean huge is like when he came up with a line, he had a line, an extensive line like Polo, with some of the black labels, like just say a Carl Kanai, it was a little bit limited, probably because of the resources. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Echo had his time. What about Fat Farm?
Fat Farm, I wasn't a big Fat Farm.
Was Fat Farm before Carl Kanai?
No. Carl Kanai was like number one.
Okay.
But Fat Farm came a little bit after him, and it was around the Echo time. You had Fat Farm, and then but Fat Farm was kind of like they was going more on a polo look. So I wasn't really into that. I was in more like I said, more wanting to be more in the hip hop type of fashion.
What celebrity you think had the best clothing brand? Like
Celebrities?
Yeah, like Sean John Rockaway.
I love Sean
FJ
John.
56.
I love Sean John. FJ 550 was kind of, Fat Joe. He had his little run. He had a hot run.
Yeah, he did.
I had one piece that I loved. I got it from All Day Sunday. It was called the Shabazz Brothers.
Shabazz Brothers.
He had this real nice pullover that was incredible. Pullover that matched with the top, looked like a tracksuit, but it had like all this futuristic type of, like basically the zippers and stuff like that was very futuristic.
Damn, I forgot about Shabazz Brother.
Yeah, Shabazz Brother. Then you had Mecca. Well, I wasn't a big Mecca wearer.
Yeah, I used to love Mecca. Mecca and Anichi.
Mecca, Anichi.
Was those black owned?
I don't think so. Maybe Mecca, but I don't think Anichi was. I don't even think Mecca was. I'm not 100% sure.
I knew it was kind of over for them when Finish Line started selling that. I'm like, yeah, it's
Now
over.
I got a question for you. So why you say Finish Line kind of ended them? Is it
It's
the
like-
mainstream?
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to go and Finish Line and get a Nietzsche.
It's
I
not
wanna go and-
exclusive.
Yeah, I want to go and Finish Line and get sneakers
Right.
or some Nike or some Adidas wear. I don't want to get no. I don't want to go in there and see a Nietzsche hanging up.
Right. Right.
It's like nah, I don't want it now. Like
Right.
even though I was still buying it from there, but it's like nah,
Yeah.
y'all over with Nietzsche. What you miss? What's the most you miss about that era?
I missed, and this sounds kind of crazy, but you'll relate to it. I missed being outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like street, what they used to call them, like block parties.
yeah.
You know, going
Yeah.
to 19 school.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about, any extra curriculum.
I mean, it was stuff going on,
Yeah, but it wasn't like you was playing outside. You didn't have nothing to worry about in the middle of the day.
definitely missed the block parties, though.
Block parties. And people outside, the events, and it wasn't like you had the Teddy T.
I was just about to get into that. Like,
Yeah.
what you prefer, jumping jack or the Teddy T?
Yeah, like Jumpin' Jack, Teddy T. I mean, you come outside, it gives you a reason to get fly.
It do. It did.
You know what I'm saying? It gives you a reason, even when you're when you just a young kid and you making a little bit of money, and you're like, man, I know. And once I go up there, people gonna be fly. So what I'm gonna put together to stand out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's 3 days.
Right. That's 3
Friday,
days.
Saturday, and Sunday.
So you got to get you got to get your job going. You got to plan everything for that.
Right.
And everybody's outside. You had to have a little bit of money if you wanted to go and participate in some activities, but it's just you and your homies.
Was you into clubbing?
Yeah, definitely.
What was your favorite club to go to?
So clubs. I mean, you gotta say what era.
Like that era, like
When I was in high school or out of high school. I mean, they used to have house parties. So now you talk about a whole nother level.
that too. Like you was
Yeah,
going to the house parties.
the house parties. They had house parties on Tremont. When we was up in high school, I used to sneak out the house.
Absolutely, I stayed right down the
Yeah.
street from there.
Used to sneak out the house and go to the
Hold on, what house party you talking about? You talking about Trenton them, or you talking about the Jamaicans right there on Tremont and Van Nucker?
Tremont and Van Nucker.
The yellow house. It was a big yellow
Yeah,
house.
yeah, it had to be that one.
Yeah, that's the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Sean and them.
I don't really know who was doing it. All I know is
Three
one of my
Jamaican
cousins.
chicks.
He was, he knew where the parties was at, and we would go to the parties. Tremont.
So walk us through that. Like any stories, like any episodes.
The only thing is with those, I mean, I just remember that we used to just have a real good time. And I don't remember nobody ever getting killed outside. Now, people fought, but I never remember anybody like damn, somebody just got killed.
Yeah, nothing other than
And
a fight.
just nothing other than a fight. And the people within, they'll handle that. They'll just pull them out. They'll stop the music. They'll be like, hey, we got to clean this up, and then we're going to get right back going.
Okay, so what about the clubbing era? What was your were you going to the clubs also when you was doing the house parties, or it was
Well,
just...
they used to have clubs for like teenagers and stuff like that, but Red Wing Plaza.
Yeah, see, I was too young for Red Wings.
Really?
Yeah, I never got a taste of Red Wings.
Ooh.
Everybody telling me about it.
Ooh, Red Wing Plaza. So that was another reason why you had to get fresh. Red Wing Plaza was huge. They used to have. That's when reggae was hot too.
Yeah, so that was like the best club.
Yeah, Red Wing Plaza. They had other ones too, but that was really like the big time one, Red Wing Plaza, because you would get a mixture of people on both sides of the city.
Okay. Nike or Adidas?
Nike or Adidas?
Yeah.
Adidas,
Why?
because of Yeezy. He the most innovative. He the most innovative.
I say this, but so you would go in the store and pick Adidas over Nike, or it's just you would pick Yeezy over?
I'm picking Adidas over Nike right now.
I'm just saying any
I'm telling you
Adidas.
right now, but it's because of Yeezy.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's Yeezy, really.
Right, and
so
I don't
you
even
won't
own
just
a pair
go.
of Yeezys. I don't own a pair because they're hard to get.
I'm talking about you personally.
I'm telling you. I
You
was going
saying
to get
from
Adidas.
I think you speaking from the world perspective. Right?
No.
You would say Adidas too, right?
I would say Nike, to be honest.
No, I'm Adidas.
So you would go and pick a Adidas sneaker over a Nike, right
Yes,
now.
Right now.
What Adidas that you would pick right now over a Nike?
Other than Yeezys, NMDs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
them a good, but them damn near like Yeezys though.
I told you the reason why. I think Nike. They have nice shoes, but I'm more into comfort.
Yeah, I am too, but
You know. Now I will wear some stuff that, like what I got on now. I don't even know what they call. They call hoka or whatever. Mm-hmm. They the most
they look
comfortable.
comfortable. I was about to say they look comfortable. They look comfortable.
You know, and they got regular tennis
They
shoes
look like
and everything else.
ACGs, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not looking to wear like Air Force Ones. You know, I don't. I think.
So you wouldn't wear Air Force Ones? Is what you're telling me?
No.
Why?
Everybody wear them. I'm exclusive.
Man.
I'm exclusive, man.
Yeah, okay,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Stand by your name, man. What about you? You would wear Air Force Ones?
Of course.
They look bulky too.
That's a go-to right there. Like, if you just need something to slip on. Like,
Yeah, that's like.
But
how
see, I'm
you-
not trying to
Okay,
go
so
too
what
high.
would be your like replacement for those though? Like if you gonna go
Now my
buy some
replacement. I'll just get some all white something. I just bought some all white Nikes recently. So I bought 2 pairs of Nikes recently.
but you won't buy an all white pair of
No,
Air Force One.
No, never.
So this you always been like this.
Always. I don't. Bought 1 pair of Air Force Ones, and they just look terrible to me.
Damn, that's the first. That's the first. I ain't never heard nobody slander
I know.
Air Force Ones.
I ain't say
man.
when people wear them, not to wear them, but I
Just
would
not
never.
your thing.
Yeah, not my thing. I
Feet.
don't wear Timberlands either. Timberland boots. They're terrible. I'm talking about the construction ones.
Yeah. Yo, you.
No comfort.
What boot you wear?
Right now, I'm doing a lot of what is it
Chelsea
called?
boots?
Right now, I like Clarks. Even
Clark
when I
sell
was in the
boots?
store, I used to wear Clarks.
Clark sell boots?
Yes.
I ain't know that.
Yep. They sell boots. They sell shoes you get to wear to church, business casual, all those types of things.
So was you into the Wallabies in the
Not
Wallaby
Wallabies.
era?
Not Wallabies.
You
no.
wasn't doing Wallabies in the.
No Wallabies.
Damn, Mark.
I'm a big guy.
You really exclusive. You really exclusive.
gotta be exclusive.
Yeah,
gotta
you
be
exclusive.
You got to. Why would I want to look like the next person?
I mean, yeah, but you're not gonna do it the same way that person gonna do it though.
Right, but it's not the shoe is. I mean, the shoes. Like I wore Durango boots back in the day.
Yeah, see, that's something I wouldn't do.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
get into that. Like
There you
that
go.
wasn't exclusive though.
No, it wasn't exclusive. But you said how you put things on and make it look exclusive.
Oh,
it went
okay,
with
yeah.
Because back then, get back to the clubs, you had to look a certain way to get in the clubs if you was younger. So sometimes they have limitations of being like 23, 24, and you like 20, you got to dress the part.
Yeah.
And you had the older guy that's with you that's got of age to get you in. So you had to wear like Durango boots, little silk button-up shirts,
I ain't never did that. I just had somebody else's ID.
Well, yeah,
Flye or Reebok?
neither. If I had to do it, it would be Flye just because of Grand Hills.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, I wouldn't do either of those. Not for fashion. Now, if I'm working out or something like that, or if I'm just doing some stuff at the house, if I catch them at BJ's or something like that, but no, never. Would you? I got a question for you. Would you?
Flye Reebok?
Yeah.
I would have to pick Reebok.
Why?
Because I could do the black tops, the pumps, Allen Iverson.
I hate the Iversons. I think that's one of the most overrated sneakers.
Why?
And I like Iverson. They just not appealing.
Never was.
They're just not appealing. Like I told you, I'll take Grand Hills over those.
What you feel about today's fashion?
Oh, don't get me into today's fashion, man. I mean,
You talking about fashion?
no, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit removed from the fashion. I'm more on an everyday basis. I wear like a lot of golf shirts and stuff like that, some polo. But with the way people put things together as of the younger kids, like I get, not to go too far off, but my son, right? Mm-hmm. So he grew up in a household where he'll look at me like, Dad, you put that together. Mm-hmm. You know, but sometimes he might struggle to put things together. And I was talking to him the other day because we would guide him a lot, me and my wife, about how to dress. Mm-hmm. But I told him the other day, we went out, we was like up in Jersey, we was at some outlets. I told him, I said, when you start shopping, you have to understand what compliments you first, you know, and when I mean compliments you, your stature,
Right.
also your complexion, also, and then on the second thing, you want to know what you want to attract. You get what I'm saying? So what you're putting on in the world is going to give it back to you.
Exactly.
So now
Absolutely.
It's a lot of wild colors and stuff like that. So he picks up some shorts, you know, that was kind of wild color. It had like different colors up in it, but I can understand he's young, want to have a little flash. But I'm like, you only could do an all white shirt with that, because if you do another color shirt, just say if it had like blue, yellow, and some other color up in there. I'm like, if you do one of those colors, you're gonna clash, and when you start clashing, you don't know what you might attract. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand, if you're not trying to attract certain things, you have to understand you have to
Dress a certain way.
Yeah. You know, like when I came to this interview, the hardest thing was like, yo, I cannot be Mr. Shelton, that's the tax guy.
I gotta be
here
future
a
exclusive.
little bit presentable.
You gotta be future
you
exclusive.
know? So that's why I was like, let me make sure I got my hat and stuff. I still like hats and stuff like that. And this hat right here, I love it because it's Jordan hat, but nobody really knows it's his racing team, you know. But and it's exclusive. You know, so I'm not gonna. I could have wore the Yankee hat, but I'm like, I really want to wear something that's gonna be, you know, exclusive. So basically, what I'm saying is, when you put in things together, you have to understand what you're going to attract. Like what you brought up, Dax. I could put anything on Dax, and he was fly.
Pretty much.
Right. His stature. And he wore the clothes. He didn't let the clothes wear him.
He know how to put it together, though.
Right.
He definitely one that really know how to put it together.
Right.
And he been like that, though.
Right. He's always been like that. Before I even knew him, he's always been able to put things together.
So do you agree with today's fashion or no?
I mean, you keep talking about today's fashion.
I'm trying to get it out of you.
It's only one thing that you want to know about. You know, today's fashion is different, you know, and I don't want to be the person to be like, oh, today's fashion.
All I want to know is, do you agree with it or do you don't? Or you not?
I'm not. I'm going to just put it out there. With some of these short shorts and stuff like that, I think that, you know, back in the day when we was really young, our parents used to wear short shorts and stuff like that.
Shit, the NBA wore shorts.
The NBA wore short shorts. But for me, I like to have mines. I like to be classic.
I'm not going to do those ones that the picture they got up with the dude with the beard and his shit's just like, up there. I ain't doing that.
Right.
But I would do like
Yeah, but right there, almost hitting your knee.
I would do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing no shit
Yeah,
way up here though.
But then at the end of the day, it's like to each
his own. Yeah, absolutely. You do what you're doing. I'm
yeah.
not knocking you for doing that though.
But
I'm
it
just saying
goes-
I'm not doing it though.
But it also goes back to what are you trying to attract? You know?
But shit, they would say ladies like that. It was girls commenting on that. Cause who posted it? Dre one posted it. It was ladies commenting under that like, yes, go like.
But that's been the beginning of time. You would most of the time. I mean, it goes back to what I say. What you want to attract, right? So if a woman, that's just like we're in an era where the fashion is a little bit more rough and clean at the same time. Like you
What
got
you mean?
beards. Well, I'm talking about like beards and stuff
Okay.
like that. Beards wasn't acceptable back in like the 80s and 90s. You didn't see people wearing beards as much like they do now unless you went to Philly. They always wore beards. But what I'm just saying is if the women or whoever you're trying to attract was not accepting the fashion, it wouldn't be
Acceptable?
acceptable.
I could somewhat agree with that.
You know, because
we do get dressed for the-
we get dressed for
Yeah.
what we want to attract.
Yeah, we do.
Regardless of what your orientation or whatever, you get dressed for what you want to attract.
Absolutely, I could agree with you with that.
You know, so it doesn't matter if you go into a job interview, you trying to attract.
Trying to get the job,
money,
yeah.
get the money.
Absolutely.
So you might put on something, that you might feel uncomfortable in, but you like, hey, if this is going to get me where I need to go, that's what I'm gonna do.
Are you familiar with the Cool Guys? The guy that like be redoing like the Jordan 1 look sneaker?
Nah, not necessarily.
Okay.
Is he online?
Yeah, he a black guy. He like redo the Jordan 1s, but he got instead of the check, it's a like a I want to say like a lightning bolt.
Oh, okay. So like Bathing Apes.
Yeah, something like, but it's the Jordan 1s. He redo the Jordan 1s.
So he'll take your Nike sign off and put the.
No, he got his own brand, like
Oh, okay.
Cool Guys.
Yeah, I never.
Patent leather, but he like mixed the colors up. That's what like be getting me. I was asking you that to see if you was familiar
Nah,
with
I'm a little bit removed from some of the stuff though.
it. You remember East Bay? Was you shopping at East Bay?
East Bay?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't shop on East Bay.
No?
I like to touch and feel my stuff, man.
Yeah, me too. Especially now, like
Yeah,
I order online, but I really like to pull up to the stores
You
and
order online, man. Is what I call. You might end up with a bag of ish. You can't return it. You know. Even now.
summertime fly or fall fly?
I like fall.
Why?
I think fall that you could do a lot with the colors and it's just like a different stage. It's cool. It's calm. You really could get into, especially once you're older, you could really get into your grown man stuff. And you could be versatile.
Yeah, that's why I say fall. You could be
You
versatile.
could be versatile. You got the nice color. Like even what I got on now, this more like
that's
a
like
fall.
fall,
Like
yeah.
fall stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a little cool. I'm like, well, I just throw this on. I like the browns, the orange, stuff like that, And things calm down a little bit. And then just think about it. In the summer, for a guy, we only got like 3 months,
If that.
in Rochester. Like right now, it's like 70. It's not like incredibly hot.
But it's also June.
Right.
Shit, next month it's gonna be over with.
Right.
The hot weather.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you got to prepare for the fall.
Right. Okay, so let's get into what inspired you to open a store.
All right. So what inspired me to open the store is basically, I see my uncle, he had his own business. So my goal was always to own my own business.
And what business he had? What kind
Well,
of?
he had a restaurant.
Restaurant. What was his restaurant called?
It was called Robert's Place on North Street.
Okay.
It was when I was kind of young. He used to have a restaurant right there, close to S&T's. So he inspired me, and then also All Day Sunday inspired me. And then once I got in college, I never went to college. I went to Buffalo State. I never went to college to actually get a job, and I never had a job. So I never had a 9 to 5. I always thought that, with my imagination and creativity, I could open up a store, and I started it in college. I was
You started a store in college?
Well, wholesaling people. I would go to New York City, wholesale some of the the local corner stores
Oh, wow.
and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's how I started. Actually opening up the business up in college. And then once I graduated, I opened up the store like 2 months after I graduated on Genesee Street. I did a lot of research. I used to go to Philly a lot. And another thing that made me get into the fitteds was All-Star, I think it was 2001.
But when you opened the store, did you have fitteds from the beginning, or it was just
Get
CDs?
into it. Yeah. So when I first opened up the store, I had fitteds and CDs. I used to go to Philly a lot. In Philly, I used to go to what's the store that's here? What's the store that
Street Game?
I don't know if that's the name of it. Not Street Game, but the one that was downtown where they was.
But it wasn't called Villa. It was called
Villa.
It wasn't
Villa.
called Villa. It's
Yeah.
called the other name, DRL. DRL.
But it was
DLLI.
But it was Villa in
I don't remember it being
Philly.
Villa in Philly. I remember
Yeah.
DLI.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But Philly, they had a Villa, and I would go in there and get fitteds from them. When I first started opening up the store, I had all P's. All P's. But they was Flye, I had all P's, and I was selling fitteds. So I would get it from them kind of like at a discounted price. And then I would come here to resell them. But what got me kind of like in fitteds was, like I said, I went to the All-Star game around 2001, and I was on South Street in Philly. And I seen a line that stretched a mile to get the NBA logo hats.
Oh, yeah, when those first came out.
When the NBA logo hats first came out, I was up in college, and people from New York, they was wearing them all the time. And basically, that's what really made me want to sell fitteds. But I used to get the first ones. I used to go to Philadelphia and get them and then bring them back.
Flyehi Klub clothing. Turbulence, the only penalty we know. www.flyehighclub.clothing. Get in the win. Don't miss your flight. Make sure you get fly. Stop getting by.
Yep.
So when you opened the store, where'd you open it?
Opened up the store on Genesee Street across from Freddy's. And
Was Freddy still open?
Freddy's was still open when I first opened.
Yeah,
When
that
I
was
first opened,
prime real estate.
Freddy was still open, and basically, when I opened up the store, the name of the store, Future Xclusive.
Yeah, how did that come about?
So Future Xclusives was this, right? So I was in college, and I would see all these people come from New York City, from that culture. They had Averexes, Timberlands, they had all the Flye stuff, all the fitteds, and everything else. I come back home, we don't have none of that.
Yeah.
Like some people still wearing like lugs and stuff like that instead of Timberlands. So I was like, well, if I open up a store, I want to bridge the gap. So bridging the gap is basically the future part is saying, hey, I'm bringing stuff 2 years ahead of time.
And that's the exclusive.
And the exclusive part of it is like, this is exclusive because nobody have it in the town. So that's how we ended up with the name Future Xclusive. And I say we all the time because it's me in the business. So that's how we got the name. And we were looking to basically have just exclusive stuff that's not in the town because we already did the research All Day Sunday had just closed down. And the Arabs, they had kind of a stronghold on the fashion.
That's what Kiko was just talking about. Was they wasn't around then when you opened?
Well, so you always had Bay Street.
All City.
All City was always around, and I knew them. You also had Mad Flavors.
Yeah, Mad Flavors.
And then you had a host of other stores that would have stuff. Another guy that had some good stuff that taught me a lot was Fareed. I don't know if you know about him.
On the corner right there where we used to be at.
Exactly.
Canal and Main.
Right. So I would go around to them, and, not so much if they gave me information, it was good. But at the end of the day, I'm just seeing what they got, like what the landscape is. Mm-hmm. And then when I go to Philly or New York, I see a whole different landscape. So once on the west side, there wasn't any other like fashion stores. On the east side, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So that's how we came up with the Future Exclusives. We opened it up. Like I said, we was.
Do you remember your first opening, your grand opening, the date and year?
It was in July. I think it was like July 10th of 2002.
2002.
Right. I'm like 20 years, brother.
And you closed that store down. What year was it?
We closed Future Exclusives.
I'm talking about the first store, the one.
Oh, the first one that was down the street when we moved down the block?
No, you opened July 2002, across from Freddy's. When you shut that store down, that's
like 2005, 6.
Okay, so you was there for 4 years.
About 4 years.
Give and take.
Right.
And then you moved down the street.
Down the street.
Okay, so who was some of the main people coming to shop when you was across from Freddy's?
Okay.
And what was your okay, answer that question first.
All right. So one of the things that I was kind of big on was like, I didn't really want to spend tons of money on marketing. Mm-hmm. So I said I'll try to get a location. So I'm right in the hood, right in the middle of the hood.
Prime real estate.
So what I did is I bust out the windows and I was like, hey, I'm going to just have some exclusive stuff and they're going to come. You know?
Bust out the windows? What you mean?
Well, I had to open up the windows. They had them little windows. So I put bigger windows up in there.
Oh.
So they had like the little, those like the little Chinese, you go to a Chinese restaurant, those little windows. So they had that. So I opened up the windows so people could see everything. So when I first opened up, these are things that we had when we first opened up and the people that came in. So we had sneakers when we first came in there.
See, I never knew that.
We had the peanut butter ups in 2002.
Damn.
2002 peanut butter ups.
Was I coming in there? I was coming in there then?
I don't know if you was coming in right then at that moment.
Because I definitely don't remember sneakers. I remember Mesquite. I was coming in there for the Mesquite.
Yeah, but that was a little bit afterwards. Yeah. So in 2002, we had jerseys, we had jersey dresses, we had fitteds, we had and then we had sneakers. We went and bought like 10 sneakers, and we had peanut butter ups. People was going crazy about these peanut butter ups, but there's like we're selling them for like $225. You had to, and they was ridiculous.
They was flying off the show.
Yeah, well, we only had like five or six of them. Mm-hmm. So we had selected people. And to get back to the people that you said that was coming in, a lot of the people that was coming in was people from the neighborhood, but then we had some people that was hustlers. They would come in. And they respected that we had things that they couldn't find at the Arab stores or in the mall,
Can you name those people?
One in particular, always had Bundy because he's like a friend. I already knew Bundy.
Shouts out to Bonds.
Yeah. So Bundy was there. It was this other guy. His name was Flye guy.
Flye from Flint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flye guy used to come in. Him and his peoples would come in. He bought the peanut butter ups.
Yeah.
And so And then we'll have like just a whole lot of other people that were just like from the neighborhood, but a lot of people that was kind of like in the streets, they would come. We had the white T-shirts, you know, that's something that people would buy every single day. But our goal was to dress the neighborhood. We wanted to have something for everybody. But the way that I look at it now is like when, who else? What's the guy? He just opened up a store too. I can't remember his name.
He opened up what kind of store?
Clothing store. Young dude. He was young back then. He was real young. What's his name? Damn, I can't remember his name.
He was from
Kind of light skinned. He be wearing a lot of fashion now.
Scrap.
Scrap.
I had Scrap on here.
Scrap was my guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Scrap,
Scrap was my guy.
Yeah.
Scrap would come in. We would dress Scrap. What you got for me, Mark? Mm-hmm. And now the dynamics of the neighborhood, like the way I look at it now versus back then, is like you really have two sets of clientele that you want to go after, and it's called stakeholders and gatekeepers.
So who you was going after?
But you have to really go after both. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
who was the gatekeeper?
I'm gonna tell you. So the gatekeepers back then was somebody like Scrap. Get what I'm saying? He was young, fresh, trying to get it. Mm-hmm. And then you had stakeholders like Flye guy. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the gatekeeper always trying to get to the stakeholders.
Right.
And the stakeholders got to hold his position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So long as you clothe those two types of people,
you good.
You good, because they are influencers.
Everybody in between
Gonna figure it out.
Gonna figure it out. Absolutely.
So in Bundy, he was one of my guys. I mean, Bundy's big, so if I could get something to put on Bundy, I'm knowing it's gonna be marketed in the club and everywhere else.
Yeah, because he on the scene.
Yeah, I never forget. I had funny story with Bundy. I had Bundy. I don't know if you remember the LL Cool J video when they had the velour suits. So I got some of those. Bundy was like, man, get me one. So I got him one. He had it was like when the velour suits was out. He had the black, silver one. I even went to the club and seen him. He was just crushing them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Buns, I reached out to Buns to get him on here. I don't know, Buns.
We're going to have to get him. Yeah, I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah, you got to come on here, Buns.
You know, I want to talk to him. But he was one of my biggest supporter, and he would always come and say, Mark, get me some specific stuff, you know, for his size and stuff like that, you know. But like I said, if you could get and this isn't anything, if you could get the gatekeepers, because the gatekeepers going to influence the stakeholders, that's what you want, you know. And everybody else
gatekeepers and stakeholders.
Stakeholders, yes. That's
it.
So
walk us through, like, you were selling CDs first before you were selling anything else?
So the CDs I grew up in the Napster age. Mm-hmm. So with CDs, you was able to get CDs months before they were released.
Right.
So even when I was in college, I was able to get CDs months before they were released. So that was my hustle. Yeah. You know, mixtapes and just selling the music. So the culture of hip hop was always embedded into the fabric of my business and, you know, into the future exclusives. We used to have, I don't know if you ever came, but we used to have battles. Like rap battles.
I remember. I don't think I never came, though. But I remember you having battles at Future Exclusive.
We used to have rap battles. We even had...
That's when Slap DVD was...
Right. We used to have rap battles. We had Uncasa in there battling. I can't remember who he battled, but it was a young guy. It was a guy that was with with Grouch, but he battled him right in the store.
Well, who won?
I don't know. I can't remember. You know?
You remember.
Dude held his own.
You remember. You don't want to see
He held his own.
He held his own, huh?
You know? So we had that. French Montana used to come to the store.
Oh, what? Oh, for Cocaine City. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you were selling DVDs too.
Right. He used to come in the store all the time.
So how was it? How did you build relationships with these people?
So basically, when you're out and people are hungry, they kind of come to you after a while when you inquire. Like I met Smack.
Smack.
When he first opened up, when he first started selling his CDs, I met him in New York, got the CDs, his DVDs, brought them to the store, and I used to sell those all the time. And then, like I said, what's the name had Cocaine City, so he would just go town to town hustling. And then I would just get them from him because he would link with a guy that's from Buffalo, like the Happy Entertainment guys and stuff like that. And they would all be selling DVDs, so that was their hustle. So they would come up. I'll never forget, Montana was out, him and DJ Scoob-Doo, they were just sitting outside of the store, we were just talking. And they would come through towns and they would just bring the DVDs. We used to have Don Diva, Feds, all that stuff up in. So it was like a lot of cultural, urban stuff going on into Future Exclusives, more than just the clothing. And what's the name? And I found this out also. Man, DC Brother used to come in there all the time.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
That's my guy.
Right.
Shouts out.
He used to come in there. It used to be so funny because he would come in. I didn't know who he was back then, but I knew he was from New York. He's like, yeah, man, I can get these hats from, up in Harlem. Fast talking. I'm like, man, you either buying or what you doing, So
that's my brother, man.
Yeah. So that's why I say when I look back, it's just like a lot of stuff that went on in the store that, that it's a lot of stories. Definitely a lot of stories.
Can we got time to get into them? You got time?
Well, another story is what was his name? See, I'm not good with names, but he came to Rochester. He was a reggae guy. He came to Rochester, and then he was like, he needed a Dickie suit. This is when Dickie started coming together. So was getting into fashion. So he needed a Dickie suit. So the guy, Mighty was doing concerts.
Shouts out to Mighty, man.
Mighty was doing concerts. And so Mighty was like, yeah, I'm going to bring him up here. I think it was Capleton. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to bring him up in here. He want to get some stuff. And he came in there and he was like, yeah, I need this red Dickie suit because he needed it for his concert.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and he was like, yeah, man, I need that. So I'm like, it's X amount of dollars, whatever. And he's like, well, do you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, I know who you are, but it's still
it's business. Yeah.
It's business, And then Mighty came in and said, hey, he's so used to, being around people that just give him things, and then he paid for it and stuff like that. So, that's one of the people that came into the store. Other than that, it just was a lot going on around Future Exclusives.
Yeah, you was a major deal in this world, in this, I could say world, but mainly here in the town, you definitely set the tone.
I appreciate it.
You set the tone, like
I definitely appreciate it. And then to get into other things is, I don't know if we're gonna get to that part, but like once we did move down the street.
Yeah, let's get to you moved down the street.
Once we moved down the street.
And why you moved down the street?
So we moved down the street is one thing, a business thing that you guys should understand. When you get a lease and you're in a property, you need to make sure that you keep renewing that lease. Mm-hmm. For one, you never know what can happen to the building. So what happened to the building right across from Freddy's was the city, they didn't pay the taxes or something like that. So then they was getting ready to take the building and it wasn't up to code. So I had to move. Excuse me. So once I moved, I said, I don't want to move too far. So I moved down the street and it took me like a week to move. So I didn't want it to be a long layover of how I'm going to move down the street. So it took me a week to move down the street. But once I got down the street, it was less activity, like the in and out from the client. So I had to switch it up a little bit. And what I mean by that, down there by Freddy's, it's like kind of like in the heart of the hood, and there was a lot of foot traffic. Down here, it was more people was coming like a destination.
Yeah.
And once I got down there, I was able to really establish the online, selling the hats online. I was really getting into the new era, being like a major player in the new era, fitted hat game, online and offline. I had a website ever since I was like, in 2004, I opened up the website. I got a grant from the city. The website cost me about like $10,000-$15,000.
What?
Yes, this back then, and I had two guys that designed the website, but I wanted the website to be able to, I wanted it to look like Dr. J's. You heard of Dr.
Yeah, I
J's,
remember
right?
Dr. J's.
So once we moved down there, I start focusing more on the website and the fitteds. And then as I'm looking at all these other people when I go to New York City and then I look at ECAP City and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they was getting into the minor leagues. So I'm like, man,
Yeah, you did have a minor
we got
league.
the Rochester Red Wings and the logo fire back then.
I forgot you had. I
The
still got.
logo was so fire.
I still got a few of those
Right.
fitted.
So the logo was so fire. So then, when I started getting into more of the design of the fitted cap, I would basically look and see what fashions was coming out, match them up with the Jordans or the popular shoes that was coming out.
So you was designing your own fitteds?
All of them, most of them.
Oh.
So like when you see any Red Wing fitted, I'm designing that. So it's like I'm
Because
doing.
I had the one that go with them Jordans.
Which ones?
What Jordans was it? I don't even know them. But it was purple, black,
I
teal.
know what you're talking about. And then it's like a rough crown.
Yeah.
It was like a Carhartt crown.
Yeah, yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm having to fill the fabrics, making all the stitches,
Damn.
everything.
I didn't know you
for
was
those-
doing all
I
that. I
had
thought
to-
them shits was coming like that.
No. I'm sitting up here with the actual New Era, talking to them, making sure that everything is to a T. Mm-hmm. You had to know, you couldn't just say red, white, and blue. You had to know what type of red, what type of blue, what type of white, So I was actually designing it, and what was great about it is I was reaching a different demographics.
Right.
The skateboarders and stuff like that was coming in. One of my guys that really helped me bridge into that market was Tim Tones. I don't know if y'all know Tim Tones, but Tim Tones,
Yeah, DJ, man.
he out in Vegas now. And when I used to have, so he would be with Krutko,
Yeah.
with Aaron and them. So me and Aaron, we did a hat collabo. I did a Krutko hat collabo with him. So we was getting more into like more of the skateboarding community and then also online. So, that was really where I wanted to be at in that space with the fitted hats. Also a story with the fitted hats. We did fitted hats for Nike Mayor. I know you know the Nike Mayor.
Nike, man. Who was that?
Gotta look him up. Nike Mayor, and what's the guy name? What's the DJ guy that's big into the sneakers?
Khaled?
Not Khaled, before him. Damn, what's his name?
The DJ?
He's a DJ. I gotta remember his name. But anyways, I did the because I had a direct connect with Nike, and this guy from Nike had they basically gave me the color waves to these sneakers.
To what was
To
going to be
the pennies.
To what was going to be coming out?
To what was going to be coming out. He sent me like 3 pairs of sneakers too. He sent me some Nike 360s, some LeBrons, and he sent me the Durants. I got the Durants still. He sent them straight from Nike.
Wow.
And but he knew this this DJ guy. I can't get his name right now. Damn. But anyways, we did pennies. If you remember the pennies, you might have bought the hat, but it was the pennies that was the foam posits with the gold. They had like a copper type of gold on
I
it.
know which ones you're talking about.
And I did the hat. I did a hat for it. I did the Orlando Magics because remember Penny came from Orlando,
Yeah.
and it was black with the undertone was gold, under the brim was gold, and then this was like a metallic, But we was definitely trying to push things on more of a global scale because that's why we was shipping stuff to countries all over the place, Japan. Where was we shipping? Canada, Cali. And what I would do is with the hats, instead of me getting all the hats from New York, I would get like you'll see a hat that's from like Los Angeles because that's going to market to that
Right.
fan
Yeah.
base. you'll see one from Montreal Expos because these are people that's buying stuff online. So that's why I tell people when you're trying to market, just get direct with the people, because when you have fans, they don't care where it comes. They want something exclusive, and they want something to put on that's going to be different from everybody else. But yeah, we was designing all those hats, all of them.
I never knew that.
Yep.
I kind of figured it, but now that I sit down with you and hear the story, yeah, because like some of them hats were just too good to be true. Like, damn, them shits really match with those Jordans.
Right. I
Wow.
was getting the color schemes from this guy named Will. Matter of fact, this guy named Will, and I met him through this guy named Nye that's in New York. But I was getting some inside information, and one of the things that was kind of like when I was getting ready to, one of the things that was like a challenge is that New Era was moving all their plants across seas. Mm-hmm. So instead of them doing the hats because they're located in Buffalo, instead of them having a plant doing them and producing them out in Buffalo, they was producing them overseas. So it would sometimes it would lag. You'll have a lag, and then once you have a lag, it's hard to sell things for the summer and the winter.
Yeah.
So.
So if it was anything that you could have done different as far as future exclusive, what would it have been? If there's anything.
I don't know. I just think life is a journey, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you gotta take it how it comes. And to do something different, I would have to be 40 or where I'm at right now. So if it was something that I could do different, I would want to know what I know now. That would be what I would do different. Because as you go through this journey in life, one of the biggest challenges is trying to mastermind the things that you've learned.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then actually apply it. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to mastermind everything that I've learned and being able to apply it. So then, I don't have to work as hard, and it's because I already don't put in the work. And I think with what you was talking about, like with the new generation, I think they want to skip the work.
But I feel like that, yeah, but it's a lot of resources that make them skip the work, though. Like, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have a lot of this TikTok and all this stuff that's teaching people. Like, you could, I want to learn how to make rasta pasta. You can look that up on YouTube. You can look that up on TikTok. Like, we didn't have that.
We might not.
Like, we was really hands-on. We had to be hands-on with certain things.
Right.
Or know somebody that's into that or done been down that road.
Right. But my thing is this. You still could go through
Google, like
you could still do all that.
Like,
you could still do all that, and it might lead you to a shorter, to get to the result quicker. But just like this table, you still got steps.
Yeah.
You could Google how to put this table together, but you can't put one leg right here and don't put a leg down there. Get what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Not saying not to use the technology. I love technology.
Yeah.
That's why I say you have to mastermind everything that you know to be able to do things a lot easier. Like with my son, I don't want him to have to go through 20 years to learn what I learned in 20 years. I want him to learn it in 5. But guess what? If he don't see the long way home, he might miss something.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the only thing. I'm not saying you can't learn it through, the technology. It's more or less, sometimes take the long route home so you can see everything. Because you might
take the long route home so you can see everything.
It's just the concept of how a person say you could run down there and get one or walk down there and get it all.
With that being said, y'all, I appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah, anytime.
Before we end it, we like to ask our guests what they
Oh,
wearing
man.
today.
Not the Chris Smooth.
So let the people know what you,
Oh
what
man,
you came in with today.
Basically, I got on some shoes. You know, the most comfortable shoes in the world. I don't even know how to call them. They either hookah or haka.
They nice,
You know,
though.
get you some of them. You know, you don't even feel the concrete. You know, I'm going to sell them. You don't even feel the concrete. Other than that, I just got on like some Sean John jeans, Sean John top.
He got Sean John on. We talking about, that's, yeah.
Sean John, keep it classic. You know, we got on whatever these are, these shades. I don't put too much stock in the shades, but East Bay, you could get them $10 to $15. That's a jewel right there. And then the hat, that's Michael Jordan team. You know, I love to support black businesses and not just to support them because they're black, because they're excellent also. You know.
He definitely supported us.
Yes, definitely. And Flyehi, thank you for having me on here. I admire, the one thing I want people to understand is like how people, we have to understand that there's an exchange all the time when a person admires you. Mm-hmm. And
absolutely.
Give me my damn flowers now.
I'm giving you your flowers.
I know. That's why I'm loving this. You know? And I'm going to give you your flowers because when I came into your shop and stuff like that, we sat down, we talked. You know what I'm saying? You took some of the things in that I said and executed on it. Plus, you had your own twist on fashion. I thought it was, you know, classic stuff and classic material. It's just that one thing that I've learned, you cannot teach vision. And that's what I learned in Future Exclusives. What I see, I can't teach you to see that.
Yeah, right.
You know, feel me?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you come in and you see it,
yeah,
you know, that's golden. You know, but if you can't see it, I'm not, like you said, who got time to educate somebody on, here goes some of Scheme jeans, this is what everybody's wearing, they're $100 because you ain't seen them. If you know what I'm saying?
right.
Or they hand painted them, you know? So that stuff right there, you can't teach that. And if a person got an eye for it, you got to understand that, especially when you're in business. Because I see a lot of business people, they're like, well, why they ain't coming to see me? No, they don't understand you.
They don't understand. They'll catch on later, though.
And when they catch on later, it might be too late.
Might be too late. Absolutely.
You know?
With that being said, this is On The Fly podcast. I'm your host, Flyehi Blake. I appreciate you, Mert.
Man, I appreciate you.
See y'all next time in the wind. Peace.